Hey y'all! I'm back again with another Pokemon Challenge video. Pokemon Red with only Bellsprout was long and drawn out, so this time I wanted to see if I could do something a bit quicker and beat Pokemon Red using only one Poliwag. As usual, the rules are I can only use Poliwag in battle and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of the videos on my channel. Upon first look, Poliwag seems pretty mediocre as a Pokemon. It gets mostly water and normal moves, plus its best stat is 90 base speed. On the other hand, it does get access to a pretty great moveset for badge boosting, so this should be a really easy Brock fight and also, I think, a pretty quick run. The speed will help us, but will also cause some issues as well. More on that later. Let's do this! Off at Professor Oak's lab, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Poliwag so that our rival will pick Bulbasaur. Venusaur will know Razor Leaf, a Grass-type move that will always critical hit Poliwag, so it's going to be a huge challenge. For those that might be new, or those that might have forgotten, critical hits ignore all stat boosts in this game, including badge boosts, so a Pokemon like Venusaur that knows a super effective critical hit move is going to be a problem. I nicknamed my Poliwag Poliswag, because this tadpole is just too cool for school. Right away, we have our first rival battle with Bubs, but it doesn't go very well. Bubble is only 20 base power, and Bulbasaur is no slouch either. We take huge damage from Tackle, and our Bubble does, as you can see, basically nothing in return. We just can't handle Bulbasaur right now, and so we end up losing. But thankfully, this is the one mandatory battle in the game where we don't need to win. I skip the second rival battle with Bubs and head straight to Brock's gym in Pewter City. Even without experience from trainers in wild Pokemon, we rocket to level 11 and slap Brock around with 4 bubbles. Pretty easy battle. We pass through Mount Moon where we pick up the TM for Water Gun and teach it to Poliwag right away. It's an upgraded version of Bubble, and we really need the additional firepower. We also learn Hypnosis, which has bad accuracy but more than makes up for it with utility. Hypnosis lets us take down the Pidgeotto without taking damage, and it's the only reason we're able to make it past the Bulbasaur. You can see how much a single Vine Whip does, and even with the upgraded Water Gun, we're barely able to damage the Pudgy plant. We have to put Bulbasaur to sleep again and again, but in the end, we're able to pull out the win through sheer tenacity and swag. Next we go to take on Misty at the Cerulean City Gym, and this battle is more akin to how the Brock battles usually are. We have to put our Pokemon to sleep to reduce the damage we take, and our water guns barely do anything. We do get plenty of critical hits because our base speed is pretty high, and this is the part of the game where those critical hits are really helpful. Later in the challenge, you'll see why this is actually a bit of a problem, but for now, it helps us defeat Misty's Starmie and earn ourselves the Cascade Badge. The battle with the rival aboard the SS Anne wasn't all that much to write home about, but we do teach Body Slam to Poliwag and head straight for Lieutenant Surge's gym in Vermilion City. Lieutenant Surge is a coin flip of a battle. His Voltorb and Pikachu go down without trouble, but if we miss Hypnosis on Raichu, we just get knocked out by Thunderbolt. I'm only showing the successful run here, but believe me, there were several attempts where we just got completely zapped. After traversing Rock Tunnel, we take on the rival Bubs in the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. His Pokemon are stronger than before, and he even has a Gyarados that knows Dragon Rage, which does over half our health. Pidgeotto also hits hard with Quick Attack, and it's impossible to get to the Ivysaur with enough health to take a Vine Whip, so we absolutely have to put it to sleep with Hypnosis. This is especially difficult because Pidgeotto likes to go for Sand Attack. This was an overall aggravating battle, and it took several attempts to get it right, mainly because Hypnosis is super low accuracy and Vine Whip does huge damage. Here's a real surprise to anyone who's been living under a rock, but Giovanni in the Rocket Game Corner was an absolute breeze. Bubble Beam is a super strong special move against his Pokemon who also have pretty bad special stats. Poliwag's got this one in the bag. We then head straight to the Celadon City Gym to take on the Grass-type gym leader Erica, and she's a real pain in the swag bag. Luckily, we outspeed so we can put Victory Bell to sleep with Hypnosis and chip it with Body Slam. Otherwise, it slams us with critical hit Razor Leafs that always one-hit KO. Body Slam is a 4-hit KO, but thankfully Victory Bell doesn't wake up until it's within range of one last Body Slam. Tangela is bad and can't really do anything, so check out the challenge video we did with it if you want to see some real pain. Vileplume comes out and I'm worried about getting hit with Petal Dance, so Hypnosis it is. Honestly, a lot of this challenge kinda comes down to Hypnosis protecting us from mega threats like this, because there's no way we could take a Petal Dance. After flying down Cycling Road, we take on Koga at the Fuchsia City Gym, and this one was actually incredibly easy. Theoretically, I should have first gone through the Safari Zone to upgrade Bubble Beam to Surf, which would have turned a lot of these 2-hit KOs into 1-hit KOs, but the fact that I didn't just goes to show the power of Amnesia. Amnesia raises our special stat by 2 stages with each use, and it's honestly incredible. Being fast enough to put things to sleep with Hypnosis, and having access to Amnesia, makes Poliwag one tough tadpole. Next, I head to the Sylph Company in Saffron City to take on the rival Bubs once again, and this one is tough. We can outspeed and put the Pidgeot to sleep right away, and it can go for quick attack, which is okay as long as we don't get hit by a sand attack. We boost with Amnesia, and even so it only does half of Gyarados' health, but you can see that we land a critical hit and it does much less damage. Remember that critical hits ignore all stat boosts in Pokemon Red, so this is where our speed stat comes to bite us in the butt. We're fast enough to put things to sleep with Hypnosis, but also more likely to crit and ignore our Amnesia boosts. This whole battle comes down to putting Venusaur to sleep. If you don't, Razor Leaf destroys Poliwag from any amount of health. So you just have to try this one until Hypnosis lands, and then surf away. After Bubs is Giovanni, and this one is super easy, just like the last Giovanni fight. I left this here to show you once again how often critical hits bone us. Nidorino survives Surf on a few HP because we land a critical hit, even when we have maximum special boosts. We still win super easily, but I wanted you to get a real sense for how this challenge run is. Poliwag is strong, but it betrays itself far too often. After Giovanni, we head straight for the Saffron City Gym Leader Sabrina. Her Psychic-type Pokemon all have high special, so even with our Amnesia boost to special, her Pokemon take several hits with Surf to knock out. This is one of the reasons I'm hanging on to Body Slam for now. We could replace it with Ice Beam or Psychic to benefit from Amnesia, but Body Slam really helps us here against Psychic-type Pokemon who typically have pretty low defense stats. That's another part of these challenge runs that I don't really talk about all that much, but managing TMs is really important. After beating Sabrina, we surf to Cinnabar Island to take on Blaine. This dude doesn't stand a friggin' chance. We're water type with Amnesia, so once we're all set up, his Pokemon go down in a single surf. Normally we're hoping not to get critical hits since they ignore our Amnesia boost, but it actually doesn't matter here because his fire type Pokemon just can't handle our swag. Last in the sequence of gym battles is Giovanni, and it's a total one-shot fiesta like usual. Poliwag is surprisingly good during these gym battles. I've noticed that Poliwag really only struggles whenever the opposing team has type diversity, aka the rival Bubs. Thankfully though, Pokemon trainers make it a real habit to only use one type of Pokemon, so Poliwag can rock their socks off with relative ease. Speaking of the rival Bubs, here he is again. This battle is really bad. There's no way not to level up during this battle, so badge boosts to attack aren't going to help with Body Slam very much. Plus, this is a battle where you can see just how poorly things go when we miss our Hypnosis. Somebody in the comments count how many Hypnosis we actually missed during this battle. On top of that, Alakazam is able to survive our fully boosted Surf and return fire with Psychic. We even get lucky and get a Vine Whip from Venusaur, where a Razor Leaf would have knocked us out, and that's the only reason we get to clutch out a win. I wanted to replace Body Slam for Psychic or Ice Beam here to make things easier, but I really need Body Slam to deal with Lorelei, or at least that's what I was thinking at the time. In hindsight, I probably could have just replaced Body Slam with Psychic, but c'est la vie. After that ordeal, we head to the Elite Four, and here are our stats and moves. The speed stat is great, but like most boomers, the rest of them are still stuck in the 70s. First up is Lorelei, and she is definitely the hardest of the Elite Four members for us to handle. Her Pokemon resist water and ice moves, and several of them resist Psychic, and they're all bulky as hell. I tried this one many times with Body Slam thinking that it would make things easier, but the badge boosts to attack for Body Slam are just not nearly as useful as the Amnesia boost for Psychic. Had I known I'd be doing things this way, I could have taught Psychic before the previous rival fight and saved myself an awful lot of pain and suffering. Even with Psychic, this one is still tough. Slowbro and Jinx resist Psychic, and we can't help but level up before Lapras, which means we remove our special badge boost and lets that Loch Ness bastard survive 2 Psychics. It also doesn't help when we constantly critical hit to ignore our stat boost and give Lapras additional turns to Body Slam us when we're hanging on by a thread. That would be a pretty poetic way to lose, deleting Body Slam just to lose to it. But better safe than sorry, and like I said before, managing TMs in these challenges is always very difficult. For any newer players in Pokemon Red, TMs are one use. In fact, TMs were single use until Black and White in 2010, so 5 generations of Pokemon before being able to reuse moves. Next up is Bruno, and he's no trouble at all. We have Amnesia and Psychic, and his Pokemon suck. Onix does come at us pretty hard for once, and actually does a lot of damage while we set up. I'm not sure how, but he does. Once we're set up, Surf washes away his Pokemon, although once again, Poliwag lands an unwanted critical hit to allow Machamp to survive a Psychic. But we win anyways. No problem at all. After that pleasant little stroll through Bruno Park, it's time for a trip down Agatha's Agony Avenue. I use a rare candy to reset our experience so that we won't level up during the battle and lose our badge boosts. The biggest struggle here, as usual, is the Golbat. It knows Haze, which will remove not only our stat boosts, but also our badge boost, including the ones that we're really supposed to get. So it's super important to knock it out as soon as it hits the field. This means we cannot critical hit the Golbat, because it will survive Psychic and then haze us in return, at which point, you might as well reset. As long as that doesn't happen, this battle's a clean sweep, and it just goes to show how powerful Poliwag is when it doesn't betray itself. The last Elite Four member, Lance, the Dragon Master, is up next. Once again, I use a rare candy to reset our experience so that we won't level up during the battle and lose our badge boost. I could have probably replaced Psychic here with Ice Beam, but I really didn't feel the need to do so. After all, it seems unfair to just blast Lance with quad-effective Ice-type moves when I can just as easily beat him with Psychic. Call me a glutton for punishment, but sometimes it's fun to make things harder for myself. After all, the rest of this challenge has kinda gone really easy. Poliwag is probably the best Pokemon we've used for any of these challenges thus far, and might be one of the best ones we ever get to use. Lance goes down without much trouble, and Poliwag continues to be an absolute beast. Before we take on the champion rival Bubs, we rare candy once again to reset experience, and I replace Psychic with Blizzard and max out the PP. There's just no way to beat Bubs if we get hit by Razor Leaf from Venusaur, so we need all of the firepower we can get. I haven't had to try the Elite Four itself too many times, but Bubs is a different story. And that's mostly due to Pidgeot, and you'll find out why soon. With all of this taken care of, let's head into the battle. Bubs leads off with Pidgeot, and like I mentioned before, here's the hardest part of the battle. We need to land Hypnosis so we can set up Amnesia, but if we miss, Pidgeot can actually copy Hypnosis with Mirror Move to put us to sleep, at which point Sky Attack usually knocks us out. And I say usually because that's exactly what happens several times. Alakazam is still able to survive a max special attack Surf because it has such a high special stat, but everything else goes down pretty easily. Gyarados even does us a favor and gets frozen. The real test is the Venusaur. We need to not miss nor critical hit a Blizzard. So Venusaur comes out and yes! We land a Blizzard, winning the battle. And with that, the challenge is over! This challenge was surprisingly easy. It really goes to show the power of Amnesia in Pokemon Red. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can find the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to check those out. I believe there's about 20 thus far. Also, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. Let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. In honor of my new puppy Bowser, next up is beating Pokemon Red with only one Growlithe. It's going to be, probably, one of the worst Brock fights of all time. Anyways, until next time,